This is Algebra 1, Lesson 2-2, one-step addition and subtraction. Email needs to go away. Whoa, my computer just froze. Okay, so let's talk about some vocabulary first. I can't see my screen. There we go. So an operation, we've been doing this, we've been using these over and over, but we haven't formally defined it. An operation is something like addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Those are your four basic operations. So now when I talk about an inverse operation, if I see a subtraction sign, the inverse operation of subtraction would be what? Shout it out. Inverse of subtraction would be addition. It is addition. So it's the operation that goes backwards. I cannot spell backwards. And I'm going to say undo the original operation. That's the main vocab that you need for today's lesson. So again, let's review yesterday's lesson, why we do the same thing to both sides. So it's going to be the same idea here. This is the general idea. So if I have, let's give myself a question mark block. And let's give ourselves two 1 kilogram blocks. Let's give ourselves five 1 kilogram blocks on the right hand side. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So everyone has this picture drawn. I want to figure out how many or how much this mystery block weighs. And in order to do that, and people already have the answer, I just need to get rid of 2. I need to take 2 off the scale. So I can just say I'm going to take 2 off by eliminating them, taking them off. But in order to make sure that the balance is still preserved, I need to also take off 2 from the right hand side. So whatever I do to the left, I need to do the right in order to keep the balance. So that way we know that our question mark block, this question mark block, and we're writing this down, is going to be equal to 3 of these kilogram blocks. So 1, 2, 3. In the real world, that makes a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and see what the equation of this problem looks like. So in terms of an equation, this looks like this. This original problem used to be x plus 2 is equal to 5. The equal sign represents the balance. X plus 2 is the expression on the left. 5 is the constant, which is also an expression on the right-hand side. And what we did, and this is how I always want you to show your work when you're solving an equation, is we're going to take the inverse operation of adding 2, and the inverse of adding 2 is subtracting 2. So I'm going to do this in a different color. I'm going to say I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. I'm subtracting 2 there. And I'm going to see what happens when I do that to both sides. So after I subtract 2, my new equation, x, well, those 2's cancel each other out, and I'm left with just the x. I still have my equal to sign, and 5 minus 2 is 3. There's my final answer, and box it. X is equal to 3. So far, so good. All right, so you already have an idea of what to do in terms of doing the inverse operation. So what is the inverse operation of adding 13? Quiet raised hand. How many people know this? Inverse operation of adding 13. There's only 4 people that know in a classroom of 11. Monse. There it is. Subtract 13 on both sides. This is the correct way of showing it. Minus 13, minus 13. Thank you, Monse. Let's come back over here. There's the correct page. And then I draw a line to say, okay, now I'm actually doing the problem. And with a different color now, W, the 13s cancel each other out. positive 13 minus 13 is 0, so I don't worry about it. There's my equal to sign. 24 minus 13, let's all shout it out at the same time. 1, 2, 3. All right, it is 11. And there's our final answer, so we're going to box it. And there is a way to check the work. You can actually plug this W equal to 11, substitute that 11 in for W in the original equation. So we're going to check our work right now. So in place of that W, we're going to do an open parentheses because we're going to be substituting in 11, plus 13 is equal to 24. In the place of W, we're going to take that 11. So this 11 is going to come in here. And we're going to check that this is a true statement. 11 plus 13 is 24. Cool. So 24 is equal to 24. Our work is indeed correct. We can give ourselves a giant check mark. In almost all things that you do in math, there is a way to check your work. So you can check your work on every single problem that you do on the test and get it right, hypothetically. So I want you guys to do example 2 by yourselves and then check with a neighbor. You have to figure out what the inverse operation of subtracting 12 is going to be. And then go ahead and do that just like we did above, and also check your work. Do everything that we just did in example 1 with example 2. And we're back. So 100 XP for a quiet raised hand who wants to walk me through this problem. Let's go with Sergio.
So you add 12 to both sides.
Add 12 to both sides. Okay.
W.
W
Equals
equals
59.
59 because this negative 12 and positive 12 cancel each other out. Then what'd you do?
Then I get my answer.
Okay.
It's 59 minus 12. So equals 47. And then I subtract and I got 47. 47.
Nice. Did you box your answer?
Yeah.
Very nice. Cool. Yeah, and that's all there is to it. And that's all the notes that I have because that's all the homework that we have today. Are there any questions about the notes? All right, your summary is going to be pretty brief. Maybe you want to use the word inverse operation in your summary. That should probably be there, but it can be pretty brief today. All right, that concludes today's notes.